Well, good morning, everyone. It's Beth Kozik from Elegant Greetings. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan, and it's Saturday morning, so welcome to our catalog Copycat cards. Every Saturday, I make a project and share it here on this video. And let's go ahead and start by giving away the project that I made last week. And we use the World of Good suite, a lot of different products within the suite which are retiring. So this was the card that I created. And I'd like to thank everybody who commented on Facebook and also on YouTube. If you're interested in possibly winning the project that I make, then you would need to definitely leave a comment. That's the only way that I can see on YouTube especially. So if you're interested, be sure to either text me, email me, give me a comment in some way so that I can enter you into the drawing for the project. Okay, so let's go ahead and select from all the names. And our winner this week is Patsy. So Patsy, I'm going to mail this card to you. I'll put that in the mail on Monday. So thank you so much again for your comments. We are again going to feature a project from our annual catalog. This catalog is going to expire on May 3rd, so there's still time to get lots of the products that are in here. But I've been featuring different stamp sets and dies and such that are retiring. So today we're on page 74, and I'm going to make this card here, this really pretty green and gold card, which is so pretty. This has been a set that I have used quite a bit. It's called So Sentimental, and it looks like this, and it is a red rubber stamp. It has all kinds of pretty sentiments and some other little confettis and dot kind of patterned stamps, but it's been one that I've used quite a bit, and it coordinates with the Stitched So Sweetly dies. These have been a great set of dies, and thankfully these are not retiring. Only the stamp set is retiring. So I look forward to using these quite a bit more in the future, and we're definitely going to use them today. So again, So Sentimental is the stamp set which is going to be retiring as of May 3rd. So still available. All right, let's go ahead and go through all of the products we're going to use on our card today. So again, I showed you the stamp set and then the dies. And then we need an embossing folder. I don't have the one that's in the catalog on the project, but I'm going to use this one, which is one I do have. This is called Tin Tile Dynamic Textured Impressions Embossing Folder. So this is one of our very thick folders. And it is tin tile, like an old-fashioned ceiling from long ago, which restaurants and buildings had. So it's really, really a pretty embossing folder. This is retiring, so a lot of things I'm going to show you today are retiring. And then we need our Versamark pad, because we're going to do a little bit of embossing. I need just the plain black Memento ink. I need some of our Baker's twine, and this particular one is from the Pampered Pet Suite, which is carrying over, so that will still be available. I have my gold embossing powder here in this container, and then I have my stamp mounted. It's going to be a thank you type card, and dimensionals, of course. And then our cardstock is we need a piece of our basic white. We need a piece of any of our metallic foil papers. This one is the gold, I believe. And so, yeah, all of our foil papers are retiring, so that's another product retiring. And then I have Just Jade, which is one of our beautiful in colors, beautiful rich green color. And I have one piece which is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I have another piece which is 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and that's going to be the front part of our card. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Of course, I have my adhesive nearby, and I have my heat tool. I'm going to heat that up in just a second here so we can do our embossing. So the first thing I did was I took these two pieces, and I've already die cut those. So these are the pieces that we're going to work with. There is this one here, and then the white one, which layers right over it. And these are intended to work together, so they fit really nicely. So why don't we go ahead and and do our stamping first. I have some embossing folder on my, or embossing powder on my paper. It's kind of all over my workstation right now. So a tip for getting rid of that, and even just scraps of dust and paper, is to use a Swiffer, one of those Swiffer type wipes. And those work great to kind of clear the workstation. So I do need to get mine out after I'm done with this video. So I'm just going to ink up this thank you. I can't thank you enough. And that is designed to fit right on this die. And I'm just simply stamping that in black. All right, so that's finished. And then for our front layer here, this is the layer that needs to be embossed with our embossing folder. So in the interest of time, I went ahead and I already embossed that. So this is how that folder looks. Isn't that gorgeous? So we could use either side. One is a little debossed and the other side is embossed. So we want the side that's raised up because we're going to be applying the embossing powder to those raised surfaces. So let me show you how I did that part. Put these aside for a second, and I'll get my embossing powder ready. And then our Versamark is just a clear sticky ink. Looks like this. Mine is very used and sort of dirty. There's embossing powder all over it, but it can be re-inked. We have a refill of the Versamark, so when it gets dry, we just add and replenish the surface. So this is a really great thing to use for embossing. So all I'm going to do is take my Versamark pad and rub it onto those raised surfaces of the embossed paper. Now I'm just gently kind of tapping that all around. So it's going to pick up on the raised surfaces. Just kind of random here and there. And then I'm going to bring this into my embossing powder and have this go all over the surface, like so. Okay, so it's going to stick to all of those places where I brushed on that Versamark. So we want to have quite a bit on there. And I'm just kind of having this roll over the surface like that. And then I'm going to kind of flick to remove the extra. And then it's always good to have a dry paintbrush because I see some spots where I just want to remove a little more. We want this to look like it's like old and burnished. So I'm just going to remove a little bit of that extra powder. I'll give it another flick. All right, and now comes the fun part where we're going to heat this up, and the heat is going to melt all of that embossing powder. So I'm going to bring in my cardboard. This is just a piece of cardboard I covered with foil, so it makes a surface for embossing so the heat doesn't go through and scorch my work surface. Just kind of puts an extra layer underneath. And then we're just going to heat this. So you'll see the magic happen here in just a moment. It looks kind of brown at the moment, but as soon as that melts, you can kind of see. There it goes. Do you see? It's always magical to me. I love embossing. And I have the heat tool set on the high setting, so it's very hot. Need to be careful not to burn my fingers. And also to keep the heat moving around the surface because we don't want to scorch the paper either. So see how it just picked up a little bit here and there. It's so pretty. There we go. I think I got it all. Okay. And that's all there is to embossing. Isn't that easy? And the effect is just beautiful. I wish you could see this in real life. It's so pretty. All right, and then I think that we are ready to assemble our card already. Let's go ahead and and bring in our card base. Let's put together our sentiment first. So it looks like they simply used regular, no dimensionals or anything, just adhesive, which will go onto on our sentiment here. There we go, get my stamp and seal going. And then that will get mounted right here in the middle. Okay, and then I believe this is popped up on some dimensionals, so I'm going to add those on. These are just the sticky pop-ups that we call dimensionals. And then, oh, I need to add that twine, so let's do that next. So we're going to kind of make a fake bow rather than going all the way around the card. This is kind of a trick to make a fake bow. So I cut this a little bit wider than my project. I'm going to add a little bit of snail or the adhesive onto the back side. I called it snail, but it's really called seal now. And then I'm just going to attach this. So that's how it looks on the back. Okay, so there is my twine, and then I'm going to tie a bow. So it looks like the bow needs to go on this side. So I'm just kind of guesstimating. I don't really cut off the bolt. I just usually make my bow while it's still on, while it's not cut from the bolt, and I make my bow and then I trim it afterward. Okay, so that looks about right. That way there's very little waste of our ribbons and such. Okay, and then the next step is to add, this is going to be added to the card front with more dimensionals. So I'm going to use quite a few because we want that to be popped up and stay popped up on all the edges and also in the middle. So I'm going to put two like that and one more here. And then the cardstock does ripple just a little bit when it's heated. So what I like to do before it cools is I like to kind of just straighten it out a bit. So this piece looks really good. And then that goes onto the face of our card like this. That looks good. And then we're going to fold this over with the bone folder, which I can't find at the moment. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I like to use our bone folder to get that crease nice and crisp. And then the last step is to add our sentiment. Okay, so we'll center that like so, and voila, we are done. Quick and easy card. Embossing is nothing to be intimidated by, honestly. It is fun, it's easy, just need a few supplies. And look at the effect of that. Isn't that a gorgeous card? Let me bring in the catalog here. So there is the catalog card, and there's my version. I think it turned out really pretty. Really excited about that one. Love it. Okay, so that's our project for today. And again, we used So Sentimental, which is retiring stamp set, and the dies that we use that coordinate, which are not retiring, are the Stitched So Sweetly dies. And the embossing folder is the tin tile. Okay, so if I can help anybody with any questions, please let me know. And here are just a few others which I had created with this stamp set. Actually, this was not one of them. Okay, this one here is also using that stamp and the dies. Isn't that pretty? And then here's another one with the thank you sentiment, kind of a different kind of a fold there. And then this one, again with that beautiful sentiment and the dies. This is the stitched rectangle that's part of the die set, and a little different kind of a fold there. Okay, all right ladies, well that is all for today. I hope you have a wonderful day and weekend, And again, be sure to give me a comment and a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.